So my story begins with me shopping for clothes, and we try to get really good deals. I have great luck at consignment shops. I like to travel through and hit them on sale days. So on this occasion, I'm in Goodwill, and they have the color tag day. So that's, when they do the transition over, so the stuff isn't picked over yet. That's when I tend to go. I have really good luck in most cases of finding a lot of new things or very, very lightly used things. So we tend to save a lot of money that way. That's a different video. This day he had a rough day at school, and I didn't have time to take him home, so he had to go with me into the store. And these trips take me a minute because I go through the whole rack. It's my process, so I'm a little guilty of this too. I have a process where I go through and I pull everything off the rack that fits somebody in my family that we're in need of that is on sale. And so then if you immediately look at it and you know it's damaged, I don't bother. But if you look at it from first glance, it looks fine, then I'll set it in the back of the cart and I will start my pile. And then after I've gone through a section, let's say we've done all his clothes, then I go back through the items in that area and I pull out everything that is damaged, has a stain on it, or I change my mind and decide that they won't wear it, and I put it back on the rack in the color zone because I'm not going to be that person. It's kind of not cool, guys. Just throw it somewhere. I'll do that. Too many years of retail, it's not kind. So I put it back because I do it by color, and then I go to the next section. But with 3 people and a big store, it takes a minute. We get into the store, he knows what's going to happen, not really looking forward to it. And so we begin our process through the store. And there is a toddler in the store who had been riding one of those push toys around the store. And they got up to the front to buy it, and mom said no. So the child has a tantrum, which we commonly see. And he's like, no, I can't. So he asked for my jacket, put it over his head, asked for my phone, and went into the smallest cocoon ball we could get in the back of the shopping cart and pulled everything over his head and did him. I was very impressed. Instead of letting it get to him and having a bad moment, we self-maintained. And this is our goal, is to find ways to self-advocate and self-maintain for you to feel better about your environment and what's going on. That's what I want for him. And so happy and healthy is important. And we're going through the store and he's doing that. As we're passing the front of the store to go to the other side, a nice older lady comes in and starts trying to console this child that she has just encountered. She doesn't know these people. She's just trying to be a good Samaritan. And she's talking away, and you can hear her talking to the child. This goes on for a good 10-15 minutes, for quite a while. And the child leaves with the parent, and she starts her shopping. And the only reason I notice her is because she walks by me, but she kind of like walks in front of me, but then stops and looks at me and then starts walking again. So like you had to stop to not be in her way. So I noticed her because she stopped in front of me. And so then I continue my shopping process, and I don't pay her any other mind for a good 15-20 minutes. Then all of a sudden out of my corner of my eye, I see her again. That's interesting. And then I keep going, and I notice as I move through the young men's and then back around to the women's that she's shadowing me through the store. That's odd. Why am I so interesting? I didn't know that I was so captivating. Who knew? So I watch her for a little while longer and look at her. I make eye contact because you've been following me for a good 20 minutes. You must want to talk to me. I will give you that opportunity. What would you like to say? And she looks at me and she's like, isn't he a little old to be in a shopping cart? I took a moment and I smiled. And I said, actually, I'm very proud of him for being self-aware and handling his needs and maintaining them where he's not conflicted or engaged or in putting on someone else his frustration right now. And I'm very proud of that for him. At this point in time, he is not made a noise. He's not engaged with anyone in the store. He's not having a meltdown. He's not being disruptive. He is minding his own business, being in his own zone. And as all of us who have parents of autistic children, that is amazing. Go, son, go. I am so proud of you right now. You are doing your thing. I think it's great. So this person right now, is not my advocate. She is not my friend. And he hears this, so of course he peeks out from under my jacket and looks at me to see what I'm going to say to her. And I smile. My customer service smile, which isn't always really a smile. It's a smile, but it's not meant as a smile. Yeah. And I decide to be an advocate for my child that day and educate someone instead of just, well, it's none of your business. Have a nice day, which I've done with people in the past that were not worth my energy to talk to about it, because they wander around and like to talk in commentary like you can't hear them as they follow you through a store about your child or whatever's going on. If you are not an adult enough to directly contact with me and connect with me and have a conversation, I am not going to waste my time engaging with you. I'm just going to say it's really none of your business. You have a nice day. And I'm going to turn around and go do my thing because you're not worth my energy. But she did take the time to connect and communicate with me, so we're going to have a teachable moment here. And so I proceed to say my usual, well, I think he's doing a great job of self-maintaining. He tends to get overwhelmed by the environment. It's a lot of stimulation all at once. And about here, she cuts me off. She interrupts me. She doesn't even let me finish what I'm saying. And she's like, well, he's a little old. It seems like, you're allowing him to play the video game instead of engage with the world and hide in the cart instead of walk around. I mean, he's a little big for that. It's not like he's a toddler. I said, no, you're correct. He is not. But he is also on the spectrum, and when we came in, things were a bit much for him. And he was mature enough to acknowledge and be aware of himself, which has taken a great deal of effort and time to learn how to do, to handle himself. And I'm very proud of him handling himself right now in the way he is behaving. Very proud of that. And she had big eyes, the expression of, oh no, I just stuck my foot down in my mouth. And she's like, oh, well, I have a nephew who's autistic. Really? So, never occurred to you that maybe this child who is covered in a jacket, hiding, holding a cell phone, trying to ignore the world, might be something that was unusual and might need some consideration and some thoughtful engagement before we just threw out. Isn't he a little old to be in a shopping cart? Because again, Momma Bear comes in. But things like that happen and don't always end as nicely. I've been in stores with other people's children who have had complete meltdowns in stores or in the airport, and that's not only stressful on the child is not the only one going through the trauma in that moment. The parent is too. And sometimes we forget as a society that these things are not planned. These are not things that the child has just decided to ruin your day by making noise. So let's be mindful of that. And those watching this video, I'm sure you are, and you probably can relate with how I'm feeling about it. But it's almost like I feel like somebody has to say that, when your child is in crisis, you're feeling that too. You love your child, you're walking in that with them. So it's not like you're in this static frame of mind where it's not impacting you. You want to be there in the trenches with your child. So when they are having a bad day, you're having a bad day. But you have to put that happy face on and help pull them through that rough day, or that negative engagement with that person that you run into in a store, or that other child who doesn't understand why your kid is different. Or the other problem we have is when we go to playgrounds, everything starts out fine, but about 15-20 minutes in, now everybody's running away from him because he's the monster now, because he's different. And those things usually take about 15-25 minutes, and then it turns ugly and it's time to leave. And it's really hard for Momma Bear not to jump in there and make it worse. I mean, I've seen children get up and move away from sitting with my child at the lunchroom table. And it's really, really hard not to just instantly get in there and be like, that's wrong, don't treat people like that. That's the important thing. So be happy and healthy and support each other and advocate for each other. So I hope to see you guys soon. If you like what I'm talking about, you have your own story to share, please leave it in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear, you guys' ideas. I really appreciate your support so that we can start having more communication. Like I said, I'm going to talk about some of my stuff to get the ball rolling, but I really want to get, everybody more engaged. So I would love to, have you guys telling me your stories, your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences, your insights. Because really there's no right or wrong answer. Things are not black and white. And as we have more feedback, then we come closer to a better conclusion on how to handle things, or maybe something that I haven't thought of and you can share with me that would make my life easier and my quality of life for my child better. My number one thing. Y'all stay happy and healthy, and please subscribe and hit the little bell icon so it will tell you when I put new content up. And I hope to keep seeing you guys around. Bye.